What is TSL, the Three.js shading language? How can I use it inside of Three.js? And what can you do with it? These are some of the things we'll look at today. I've been inspired by a subreddit called Generative. And this piece in particular, generative geometric patterns. I like these. Let's see what we can do. The code here is from a template on my GitHub. Type in web GPU, and you'll see this template here. And it looks cool, but what I want to do is start by import rounded box geometry, and I want to use that instead of this torus knot. Let's see what that looks like. There is no three.rounded box. It's just rounded box. Okay, good. I think I need to look this up. GitHub, Three.js, examples, JSM, geometries, rounded box. And here's the constructor. We're looking for width, height, depth, segments, radius. Width, height, depth, segments, camera radius. Hey, it's getting closer. Tighter, just a little bit tighter. Okay, that's sufficient. Great. Let's create a grid of those. This is a 4x4 grid. We could start there. Let's do this instead. Color. Oh, I don't know what color that is, but let's see how it looks. We're going to need to import color here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, interesting. Let's delete that. How about MeshBasicNodeMaterial? I'm not sure that exists. Oh, it looks like it does. I like it. Now then, stop the rotation. Also, let's call this box instead. And let's create a bunch of them. I don't need this hemisphere light anymore. Const grid size equals 4. Const group boxes group is a new group. That's fine. What does that get us? That gets us that. It's whacked out. So the grid size, let's start at 0. Okay. And now we have 5. And let's just do less than. And let's start with an offset. Const offset equals negative grid size divided by 2. Let's try how that looks. And we'll add that. Thank you for next edit suggestion. Let's see how that looks. Whoops. That's not good. Let's modify this because it looks nicer to me that way. Oh, wow. Oh, that's the initial box. We don't want to add that to the scene anymore. Getting warmer, closer. I'm going to call this gap instead, so I can modify that up here. Const gap equals 0.1. Now there's a little bit of a gap. And that's going to reduce that, scoot it over. That's fine. Let's make the color different. I'm going to grab a color palette that I like. So instead of just assigning this color node, hex. I'm going to paste in this color palette that I like, and then say hex is equal to a random one. Boom. So that's great. Every time I save it, I'll get a different color. But I want each box to be different, don't I? I could do instance geometry, but I'm not going to. Function get box. And we'll pass in an index. That'll be handy. And we're going to redefine the material each time. We're going to redefine the material each time because we want each material to be unique to that box. Let's format this and return box. Thank you for next edit suggestion. This will give us random colors for each box. Not yet. Oh, hex needs to be included here. Boom, like that. Yes. Now, every time I reload the scene, I get a different color scheme. All pulling from this color palette, which I got from coolers.co. I like to click on Explore Trending Palettes and look through these, see something I like. This looks interesting. You could just copy as URL, come up here, comment out that one, say const palette equals bracket, and then start with a hex thing, paste in what's in my clipboard. I'll let GitHub Copilot help, save that. And now we've got this cool palette. And to see it a little better, let's do a 6x6 grid. And I'll zoom out a little bit so I can see that better. Oh, that's too much. That's kind of cool. It's a little bland, isn't it? So let's explore making this more interesting. The framework is all set up here for us to explore adding shapes to this. And I think using TSL will be a great way to do this. And also doing this will be a great way to learn TSL. So in using this as the inspiration, I drew it out by hand. This is kind of what I came up with. It's incomplete, but while doing this, I discovered that I like to have some variation here, maybe some gradients, possibly. So let's start with a basic shape. And we'll assign that shape to the color node of our material. Right now, we're just assigning a flat color, but we could also assign a shape, and I'm going to do it like this. I hope this works. UV dot, what is it? Remap clamp, I think. And I'll say 0.5, comma 0.501. And I wonder if I need anything else. I don't think so. And what does that have? What happens when I do that? Oh, it explodes. I need UV up here. Whenever you're using something out of the TSL library. Oh boy, look at that. Well, okay, I got a result. If I didn't use remap clamp, I think you would just have this nice gradient. The UV being kind of the X and Y coordinates on the surface of this geometry. Using remap clamp, the value of 5 makes them hard, those lines hard, the gradients are gone. Now look at this, you can use just the X component of that UV to get a black and white thing. And if I use just the Y component, they'll all be oriented horizontally instead of vertically. Let's keep them vertical for a second. And when we return this box, we can say box.rotation.z is equal to math.random times math.pi times 2. That's going to be bad. I want to do math.floor. Math.random times math.pi times 2. Well, let's see what that looks like. Oh boy. Oh, I think I know. Okay. I want it to be between -1 and 1. So math times 2 minus 1. Okay, and now multiply this by math.pi times 5. So that should give us, yeah, okay. And if you reload each time, sorry, you get a different orientation. This is already interesting, but let's get the color times color hex. And now that breaks it. Because it breaks it. Look at the error in the console. Oh, there's no error. I can't use times. I have to use TSL .mul for multiply and then the color of the hex. Okay. Hitting reload. In order to kind of finesse this color node, this TSL expression more, I want to break this out into a function. Get shape. I want to fix that. Yeah, thank you. This is what that looks like. This const get shape is equal to a TSL function, which is a capital FN, and then we pass in what we want to do. Using this pattern allows us to use a stack. So first we'll just use the proof of concept, like so. And it does not work. Oh, because I need to tell my application to import FN. Still doesn't work. Shoot. Return. Why doesn't it work? Oh, this MeshBasicNodeMaterial, I can just give it a color. That kind of makes sense, right? Color is hex. And then when I'm defining the color node, it's already there. Oh, I can say material color .mul get shape. I don't need that hex. Sorry if this is confusing. I'm figuring it out as I go too. Let's put that material color up here. So I know we have that. Like that. Material color. Don't need the hex. Gonna get rid of that. We're not going to use that anymore. We're just going to return that. I like the half black. That's fine. Okay, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Hex before it's defined. Makes sense to me. Hex is here. Let's move it up here so we can use it. All right, kind of what we already had. Now that I have this get shape, const shape equals get shape. Now I can do this. Add. Let's see what that looks like. And we're back to where we were. But what if I defined another hex? Another hex. And I use that. Oh, now it's all split up. I think these need to be closer together now, so we don't get those weird lines. We get them anyway. It looks like parquet flooring. Unless I use a different color palette. Now it's no longer parquet flooring. Okay, let's add some additional shapes Also, tweening. Let's start with the tweening because that's going to be very cool. Let's import tween. It's like Copilot heard me say it or something. It's inside the Three.js package extras. So let's start that. And before we forget, let's go ahead and add that to our update method. Tween.update. Clean this up. Good. Now here's what our tween function is going to look like. Let's write it inside of our get box. It'll be attached to the user data object of our box. Box.userData equals do tween. This method shorthand here, because I like how it looks. Wow. There's some good and some bad in here. So let's get the good. Let's get rid of this function. Don't need it. But I want this T. I like the defining the tween, and I like the tween rate. So let's grab those guys and place them outside of this method. Every time we call a method, we're going to create this new vector3. Actually, we don't need to do that every time. That should be outside as well. We're just initializing this vector3. What's the difference here? Oh, okay, whatever. It's the same. It looks the same to me. And then we're calling this tween method. OnComplete, don't need that. Great. On our grid boxes, we could add a method to call the do tween on each and every box. Or, as a quick shorthand, since this is a little rough and dirty. Yeah, that. I'm going to call the boxes group. I think I called it grid group a second ago. And call it do tween on every one of its guys. But I don't want it in the animate method. Instead, let's add an event listener for the key listener. Add key listener. Boom. Thank you very much. Get rid of that comment now that we have it. Key down. If that key is space, let's call this do tween. Save it. And if I hit the space key, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't like the easing at all. Do you? Also, look, every time I hit the space bar, they reset. That is bad. Why is it resetting every time? So here's the do tween method. It's weird that that's not indented. Why aren't you indented like that? Yeah, that's better. I really only care about the Z right now, so let's do that. I only want the Z rotation. Angles dot Z. Let's just isolate that. Now we're just getting the Z rotation. I hate the way it resets each time. Why does it do that? So instead of cubic, let's do this elastic. Oh, that broke it. Was there an error? No error. Interesting though. Oh, there's no index value yet. I didn't pass that. I never passed that in. Let's fix that right now with pass in index, which will be I. And I looks like this. Let I equal 0. Stop it. Stop. And oh, I need to pass that in as an object, don't I? Just pass it in like that. I plus plus, that's fine, but plus equals 1, I prefer. Yes. I think it's still going to blow up. No, it didn't blow up. And they don't reset each time, strangely. But now our composition changes every time we hit the space bar. It's cool, right? Listen, we don't have any time to lose. Let's make some different shapes. Right now we have one shape in my getShape method, but I want to randomize that with different shapes. So let's first pull this out into its own variable, call this sh, because we can, and say let sh equal bonk. I'm just pasting that. Oops, I don't need a semicolon there. Oh, it's helping me already. So I want to randomize things. So I'm going to capture a random value in a variable. And look at this. It just wrote out all my shapes. Let's talk through each one of these though. Well, hang on. Let's do one at a time. Let's do one at a time. So we only have two now. We start out with the half black one. And if our value, why is it constant? It's fine. If our random probability is half, then we get a circle instead. And the circles don't change when you rotate them. So yeah. There's also something, you see how the color is kind of a little too uniform sometimes? I have an idea about that. When we define our color here, let's define another hex. Const another hex. Yeah, as just another random value. What's happening here? I defined it twice. Okay, and then do this weird thing where this is, gosh, I forgot what you call this, but if this condition is true, then this condition happens, which is an assignment. So it's a weird expression. It's not one that you might be used to seeing. Hang on, don't just get out of here. Okay. But it works. Another way to say it would be this. If this is true, then do this. What's happening here? Sometimes it's too much. Okay, format it. Get rid of the space. Okay. I'm like wrestling with the autocomplete. That's another way of writing that expression. If those colors are the same, then reassign hex. It's not very thorough, but it just adds a little bit more detail. So let's save it and see how it looks. It breaks. Why does it break? Because we're assigning to a constant variable. Of course we are. Okay. Now there's a couple. Well, there's only one. And if we reload, there are none. So we're getting better color separation, so to speak. But we have too many circles, in my opinion. And also, let's talk through what that circle thing is doing. So now we have fewer circles. Okay. If the distance is in the middle, 0.5, clamp it at this radius. This value here is kind of the radius. Yeah. Okay, so let's bring these other guys in here. Else if this condition, this is the corner circle, my favorite one. In fact, let's just kill this guy. And now we just get the corner circles, which I think are so cool. What's the probability for these? It's the same. Let's make it half from. I love these. I think it makes the design interesting. Just those two different shapes makes it interesting. Interesting how some of them aren't moving. I wonder why these guys aren't moving. All right, but let's bring out this as well. And why not bring these out too? I'm afraid I didn't do a good job of describing what's happening with the circle. It's because I don't really understand. But this is a formula where you can create a centered circle. And this, we're doing the distance from the top. Hang on. Okay, now everybody's back. Great, but I only want to see this quarter corner circle thing. So let's comment out all this other stuff. Yeah, now we just get that. And let's kill the rotation and see which corner it is. It's the bottom left corner. That's 0. I can make it the top right corner. Okay. One of the two. And then if I add the random rotation, it appears that the circle is kind of all over the place in the bottom corner. And let's add this diagonal line. Else if, or just if. Way too many circles. Let's reduce the probability for the circles to 1 in 10. Nice. And this is roughly 4 out of 10, and then the rest. Okay. There you go. Try a different color palette. That one more closely matches the original that I was inspired by. Oh, purple. Some things you could do with this is experiment with different shapes. There's something interesting going on there. Instead of just drawing circles and diagonal lines, you could experiment with some different shapes, or subdivide these further, or offset them more too. For example, for this diagonal line, instead of 1.0, how about 1.5 or 0.5? It puts it down in the corner like that, which I think is an interesting look. If you have a layout you like, you could save that image. That's something you could do. You could, instead of just tweening the rotation, tween the position so they shift around, tween the colors. You could tween the shapes. I really want to experiment with that. Didn't get a chance to. If you like my videos, please share them. It helps my channel grow a lot. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.